Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, I will explain you about the phonetic symbols in phonology. The content of this video are consonants and vowels. The first is consonants. It consists by f. For the examples, fall, and then l, life, leg, and then f in the word very, fine. And then m, for the examples, my, man. The next is s. For the example is sun, so. And then n. For the example is near, no. The next is z. For the example are zoo, zebra. And then for the example, happy, hat. The next is v. For the example, won, wait. And the next is sh. For the example is television, vision. The next is the. For the example is thanks, and thin. The next is ch. For the example is chilled, chain. For the next is the. For the example, this. And the next is ch. For the example is German, germ. The next is sh. For the example is she, shoe. For the next is ngah, For the example is English, sing, sing. For the second is vowels. It consists by E, E. For the example is C, C, bean, bean. And then E, E. For the example is his, pit, pit. And then is E, E. For the example is 20, 20. Sick, sick. And then is A, A. For the example is 10, 10. Pat, pat. Next is A, A, A. For the example is stem, stem. Part, part. The next is fa, a, a. For the example is father, father. Burn, burn. The next is o, o. For the example is hot, hot. Pot, pot. The next is R, R. For the example is morning, morning. Burn, burn. Next is egg, egg. For the example where, where. R, R. And then oo, oo. For the example is football, football. Book, book. The next is oo, oo. For the example is you, you. Boon, boon. The next is a, a. For the example is sun, sun. But, but. Next is a. For the example is learn, learn. Burn, burn. And then a. For the example is letter, letter. Mother, mother. And then A, A. For the example is name, name. Bait, bait. And then O, O. For the example is no, no, no. Toe, toe, toe. The next is I. For the example is my, my. Bite, bite. And then ear, ear. For the example is here, here. Ear, ear. And then ow, ow. For example is how, house, house. And the next is uwe. For example is tour, poor. Okay, I think